Yay!
Hi! Welcome back to Once Upon a Mental Crisis.
Woohoo!
Episode 6.
Embracing the artistic journey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like always, we start with checking in.
Yep.
What's been up with you?
So last month, August, oh my god, a lot of things happened and still happening currently.
Yeah.
Let's see. I found a new job.
She left me.
I left my old job for a new one. And I am a much happier place. However, that ended quickly as soon as I had car issues. So I'm in the middle of that right now.
You're still in a happier place.
I am.
It's just your car decided to
Life
fuck
happens. Life just happens during Mercury retrograde. And this is the hardest Mercury retrograde I've ever experienced in the last few years.
Facts.
So,
I'm sorry.
but thanks to Zai and her family for pulling me through and being there for me through it all. I'm still fighting a battle, and I just want everything to be okay. And everything will be okay.
It will be.
Yeah, everything will be
yes.
okay.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yes. So, if you are wondering, my new job is with a nonprofit organization, and I am a communications coordinator.
How?
Yes. So, it's been 2 weeks since I started. 3 weeks by the time this episode airs. But yeah, I've made that jump and just living the life that I want, and it's going well so far. Besides
Good.
minor issues, but other than that, a lot of gigs coming up.
Yes.
I've done a lot of photography in the past few weeks and for the next month or so. And I'm actually collaborating with someone for a very special event. So yeah, look forward to that.
Not me.
How about
collaborating
you?
with me.
How was your August? How was your birthday month?
Oh my god, it was my birthday, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It feels so long ago now. But it was great. I took my birthday off and I spent it with my daughter, which was wonderful. It was just me and her. It was, I felt like this was like the most low-key birthday I've ever had. Because I didn't really make a birthday post. I didn't really like post anything about my birthday other than like just spending time with my baby girl. And I think probably one of the best birthdays I've had then. Like doing what I want and not really make it too big of a deal. Normally I like making it big of a deal, but just like with everything that was going on, like my husband was out of town and I just have so many things on my plate. Like I just rather not plan anything and just like chill and like have fun and be in the moment. And that's what I decided to do.
For real, I think since last year we had plans and they didn't really happen.
No.
How do you feel about that?
Well, so they did happen, but just not on the day that I wanted them to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, originally, after that Saturday, we were going to come back to my house and do the activities that I wanted to do. But then I decided that it wasn't going to work out because we had to work that day, and then we just decided to just have a relaxing day.
Yeah.
And then my friend, my other bestie, we decided to collaborate our birthdays together. So I did the activity that I wanted to do with her on her birthday weekend.
Okay, well, I didn't get that note.
Yes, you did.
It was for Wendy. That's all I remember. You didn't say you were going to combine your birthday with her. If you did, then I would have came.
I feel like I mentioned it.
No. You were like, we're doing Wendy's birthday. You should come over. I was like, oh, okay.
No, I feel like I mentioned it. Well, whatever. I feel like I mentioned it to somebody.
She misses out on information,
But
and I get the...
But I still invited you.
I know you did. But I think if you made it like it was part of your birthday, I was like, oh, then I would have come. But I didn't get that memo. So, it's okay in the past.
Anyways.
So, yeah. Other than that, thank you all for listening to...
I wasn't done yet.
Oh, you're not? My bad.
No.
Continue.
I was going to say the biggest event in my life in August was my work wife left me. And how am I dealing with that, you ask? Not that bad, actually.
Yeah, she's doing fine.
I'm doing fine.
She's fine. She's so dramatic. Leos.
But I also wanted to add that the reason why we're all dressed up
Yes.
is because we just did our first branding photo shoot as Lumina.
I know. So exciting.
Yes.
Can't wait to see. Our photographer was Pana Zhang. We're so grateful for her that she took the time out of her day just to photograph us at the Green Room downtown. So that was really fun. So when they are out, you'll probably see them on our platforms.
Yeah.
So we
Can't
love them. We had a really fun time. So.
Yes.
A lot of fake laughing.
There was a lot of real laughing too.
I know. No, honestly, I needed that because of what I was going through lately. I'm like, yep. It was just fun to just like not think about anything, just laugh.
Right. And like for this time, you weren't the photographer.
I know.
She was the object of the
I
photo
was
shoot.
the model this time.
Yes.
This is probably my second time since I've been a model and not the photographer. So like compared to the first time, I'm more comfortable this time. So
Good.
yeah.
Good. All right, so yeah, we can get rolling into our topic for today, which I said earlier is embracing the artistic journey. So today we want to elaborate on what a creative is. I will say that the term creative is actually newer for me.
Really?
Yeah, like I didn't actually really hear this word until like this year.
Yeah.
Yes. Like before,
Really?
yeah.
Wild.
I know. I'm sure my definition and my way of seeing creative might be different from yours.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you go first.
Which is?
What does it mean to be creative? Like define what it means to be a creative individual or to be in a creative business or.
I think for me, being a creative means to express yourself through your hands, through your ideas, through your vision. It could be artistically. It does not have to be artistically. But I feel like that's what everyone knows a creative to be. Because I feel like in business, you can be a creative where you're creating solutions to issues. But I guess, yeah, I think creative, it comes with being visual. Maybe audio too, because you could be a musical creative. So I think it's just really about expressing yourself, expressing your craft, and with your ideas. I think that's if you have it up here, like that's just my definition, is expression, and it's with your ideas. And it's like a product at the end, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. How about you?
For the most part, I agree. Yeah, it's like using your concept of what is art and making it into something tangible. So I feel like we're in the era of artisans, where people are really tapping into their creative minds, seeking out new ways to use the products and materials around us and creating something that other people can enjoy. Like it's kind of almost like the Renaissance era for the modern day,
yeah.
you know? Like we're really tapping into arts and crafts and just really enjoying art as a whole, no matter how it's created. So like musically, artistically, lyrically, which is also the same as music, but like we're just really finding different ways to be creative in our workplaces. And so, like you said, creatives can be in almost any industry. Like you kind of need to be creative in all industries now because people want something new and different and exciting. So yeah, being a creative is, for me, it's using what you know, what you have, and making it into something that other people can enjoy.
Like, even as a scientist, you need to be creative.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of creative are you, and how did you find your creative voice? So like, how did you discover and develop your like unique creative style?
Good question.
I know.
Because I feel like I've been a creative all my life. I think even elementary, I was very artistic. Do you think being artistic is the same thing as being creative?
I think they go hand in hand.
Right. So I've been creative since I was a child. I took art classes in high school, but I think there are things that I don't like as a creative. Like, I don't like coloring. I don't.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
I don't like painting. I've attempted. Like, I love to, like, adore, like, watercolor painters and oil painters. I don't think I have the patience for it. I am definitely a 3D model, like, creative. I like working with 3D models. So it's more hands-on, I feel. I am a photographer, so I'm a visual creative. And then I also dance. So I'm in that way musically, and I played a violin.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's right.
Yeah. So I love music. I've done embroidery, so I do like mong bandao and stuff. So like I'm an all-around creative. I could go on and on and on.
Well, I guess what inspires your
Yeah. So I'm
creative?
Gonna
Okay.
So I guess the creative that I identify myself with is a photographer, and I think what really helped or inspired me was architecture. I'm more of like simple, like minimalistic style.
Yeah.
So I think because I actually before photography I had like an interior architecture kind of background. So like minimalistic was my jam. Like I love that stuff, and so that kind of came into my photography. And that's really all I can say is like the minimal style. I'm not very about like effects or crazy edits. Mine's are very simple.
Yeah.
And candid and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, which I feel like people really enjoy too. Like for me, what I like about her creative voice is that it's so like simple, but it really captures the moment. Like, I tell her this all the time, is that one picture she took of our dancer instructor. Oh my god, I'll never forget that picture because that perfectly captured who he is as a dancer. He was all about the movement and like the loudness of who he is, and she was able to capture it, and it was just perfect.
Thank you.
Of course.
How about you? What's kind of shaped your creative style?
So I feel like I was always a tinkerer. So I always liked like putting things together and like taking them apart and putting them back together. So like when I was like a kid, my dad had this like tiny little like screwdriver kit, and they were just like all the little tiny screwdrivers, and I would literally take it and take apart the calculator. I took apart the Walkman ones, and then like I just liked like putting it back together. I never thought of like, oh, maybe if I take it apart it won't work anymore. Like I didn't think of it that way. I've just thought like, okay, if I just put everything back together where I found it, then it'll be fine. Interestingly enough, I didn't become an engineer because I don't hate math. I'm just not the best with like complex formulas. I like math actually, but I just didn't really see myself being an engineer. So I steered more towards the creative route. So at first, when I wanted to like make something and sell it, I first thought of candles actually.
Oh yeah. Her candle era.
Yeah, my candle era. I was dabbling into soy candles, like mixing different like scents in, and I made a good set. But then, like, they were really cute. They were like, I had all these like teacups that were not being used. I used them for my wedding, and I had them. So I was filling them with soy candles, and like I made these cute little tops for them. But it didn't really go anywhere because I realized that I didn't actually like making candles.
Why?
it was just so tedious.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and it was so messy. Like, yeah, I just had to have a specific station to make my candles, and it was always so messy, and like I just didn't really enjoy making the candles. So I stopped that, and then like I had a period of time where I'm just like I don't really know what I want to do with my creativeness. I'm sure I tapped into other things. Speaking of tapping, my daughter's tapping on. That's her knocking on my office door right now. Cute. But yeah, I dabbled in a lot of things. I eventually started and stuck with my sun catchers. So this is like one of my newest designs right now. It's my gothic era.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I got these trinkets with like
It's giving me Sailor like Moon. Like
right. Okay, so I've been watching Sailor Moon too.
Oh really?
So like I also have ideas for Sailor Moon and
Yes.
like this right now it's my gothic area, but I'm just gonna go into my kawaii era.
Well, Sailor Moon can be kind of gothic too, though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
dark Sailor Moon.
Right, exactly. So like I'm like mixing those kind of mediums together, but that's the thing about like me and sun catchers. So the thing is, I wanted to incorporate like the Hmong jewelry and the charms. So this is like this part right here is like part of the Hmong jewelry and this part too. And I'm like, I've never seen sun catchers made with our Hmong jewelry. So let me like see what I can make with these. And so I bought some off of Etsy, and then I bought some crystals and like some other like charms and stuff. Oh my god, if I ever go to like Michael's and Joann's, you're gonna lose me in the beads aisle because it's like a dream there for me.
Wow.
But yeah, basically I just love finding random things and putting them together. You know, for some people it might be a tedious thing to do because you're literally just sitting there like putting things together, but I like it because the thing about what I love about my sun catchers is that each sun catcher is uniquely different. Like I don't like making the same sun catcher. I like adding different things, and it's literally like an art piece. You know, like I was an avid art person in high school. I did an independent study in high school for sculptures.
Nice.
Right. So I did clay sculptures. I did stained glass, which I hope to incorporate into my sun catchers one day. So like I've always been just kind of like the hands-on kind of artisan too. Yeah, that's kind of how I just found my creative voice. It's like incorporating who I am culturally into who I am as a creative person. Yeah.
That reminds me, because you were walking through your history, I realized that when I was younger, I think like middle school, I wanted to be a writer first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually an interior, like an architect or interior designer. Then I'm an anthropologist. I did want to go into dance. Then I became a photographer, and then most recently, I was thinking of becoming a nail tech.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which she's really good at.
so
And that's the thing about being a creative. It's like we're always looking for a way to express ourselves in a creative, artistic way. And I think like a lot of people go through what we go through. We go through like different types of activities and like phases to really figure out what clicks.
yeah.
You know, for me, it's the sun catchers. For you, it's photography.
Yeah. I forgot to mention social media marketer, and,
Yes.
like graphic designer.
Right.
So many.
Exactly.
So many options. Can never do stick with one thing.
I know. It's a gift and also a curse.
Yep.
Because like you can literally do almost anything, but because you can do almost anything, there's just so many to choose from.
Yeah.
So like at a point you're just gonna have to like pick and like see how it feels. And then if it doesn't click with you, then that's when you switch to another. And that's okay. You know, like with my candles, at first I felt like, oh, maybe I'm not meant to do this kind of like business, but candles just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know? With discovering your creative and your style, how do you feel that your own personal, like outside of the creative world, do you feel like any of your personal experiences have affected you as a creative?
So outside experiences.
Yeah, outside experiences.
I think definitely with my photography, I've been doing photography officially for like 7-8 years. I feel like I wasn't able to be my full self whenever I put photography in the back burner, because life gives you a lot of curveballs, and I used to deal with like family or personal things at home, and I feel like if I'm not creatively expressing myself, if I'm not capturing the moments I want to, or just like being out there and being explorative, I think that life becomes so bland, and like I kind of become depressed. It's kind of funny. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's just like I just notice whenever I'm out there taking photos, like, and I'm creating beauty, I think it makes me feel so much better, because like I don't know. It's just probably like doing something that you love, that you're happy about, and just like it was like dopamine, like kind of it hits the dopamine.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think it comes with the creative, like comes some kind of freedom.
Yeah,
through
for sure.
art and stuff. So yeah. Even if it's not like photography, let's see, if I'm like drawing or sketching, I think it's the process of seeing something at the end that you're proud of. I think that's what makes it so rewarding as a creative. But I feel like I made a recent post, but like photography kind of gives me a purpose. It gives me a reason to keep going, and like a purpose for something that I want to fulfill with it. Because if I wasn't doing photography, if I wasn't doing some kind of art form, I think I'll be like some dead-end job at an office job doing nothing, doing something that's just wasting my life away. So like art really gives me a purpose to keep going and like being my expressive self. So yeah, going off of what you're saying about like life and work, it's like when I get into my creative zone, I have no limits. And I think that's what makes being a creative so fun and exciting, is because we don't put limits on ourselves. I mean, sure, there's some limits that we expectations,
abide by, but like at work, we have a boss, we have guidelines, we have a policy and a protocol that we need to follow. But once we're in our studio or where we are working on our own creative item, it's really all up to us. And if we don't like it, we can literally just trash it, and there's no like really consequences, or we can just start it over. Whereas at work, we can't always be that flexible. Having a hobby or something outside of work where you can turn to and you can just be yourself and be free and just create something, that really helps us with our ability to feel free, to be able to just be ourselves and like express ourselves in a way that makes us feel like not caged in. And that's something that I wish that a lot of workplaces would start to recognize. Like if they want us to be more creative and more like adaptable, then they need to like lower the reins that are on us,
or nurture a space that provides us creatives to thrive.
Exactly. Like once you just let your people just do what they want and be who they want to be, of course with limitations, because some people can take advantage, but for the most part, if those people who you feel like are really creative and really want to like just express themselves in a good, productive way, let them and just see what comes out. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's fine. We can just start over. And that's the thing with being creative. Like if this piece doesn't work out, fine, I'll just take the pieces out and I'll restructure it. The only thing that can't change is the cage. But you know what? The cage is also what is helping me structure my sun catcher as well. So try to think of life in that way. That's kind of how I like to see it. Is like once I find a place where I can just be myself and be creative and adaptable to my surroundings, then I feel at ease.
One thing about you mentioned expectations. It's like I thought about like, please don't ask your creative to think something on the spot. Like don't like that. It's just like, because when someone gives me that, I'm like fuck. Like shit, I have to think about something on the spot. But like, I feel like some people are great with that, but like, there's people like me who like to sit down, soak it in, and like, and then process. It can't be like, you can't pressure or force something to be creative. It has to be intuitive, or at least for me, intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah, and like once you start like as like a boss or supervisor or whatever, as soon as you start putting that pressure on someone, then that's a limitation.
Yeah.
Like think of it that way. You want them to be creative, but don't be like, okay, be creative. That's not how creativity works. Like, you know, like
it's like telling a comedian to be like, tell me a joke.
Right. You know, like they probably can, but give them like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Like give people that ease of pressure. Like you don't need to pressure anyone. And I know they say, oh, if you put pressure on something, then it becomes a diamond. Like sure, fine, whatever. But not everyone works that way. Yeah. Like a lot of pressure also can break something, and you don't want to also be responsible for breaking something. Just be aware, you know. But then going into kind of like this kind of goes with the next topic that I want to talk about too, like balancing life with creativity. Like what are the challenges that you had by pursuing your creative passion alongside your other like adult responsibilities?
Oh gee, so for the longest time I've always lived my life for like have a full-time job and then do my photography on the side on the weekends. And for a while it worked out very well because my office job didn't require me to like work overtime or work over the weekends. So I was able to balance like photography gigs on the weekends and go traveling and do that stuff. But I think by year 2 and 3, that's when I was just like, this office job is like killing my creative side. Like it was the most boring job ever. Like it's so bland. Like I love the people there, but the work was so bland that I could feel my creative juice like die. It was like, what the hell? Like I just felt so suffocated at that office job. I'm like, I need to get out and do something, or I'll just like wither away. So that's where I found my new job at Fred Astaire, and it gave me what I wanted: creative freedom. But then it was like too much creativity. It was too much pressure. But it was for all a good experience. Like I wouldn't have done it any other way. Like it really pushed me. It really challenged me to be creative that I wanted to be, and even a better marketer too. So I guess struggle, right? Challenges. I guess that like the challenges was you have to be really self-motivated. And oh my god, no one talks about that. Financially too is can be a struggle. But like some of the money I made off of photography, I would like reinvest that in my own business. Like or even my full-time job, I would invest that money to my photography, but like buying new gear, buying lens and stuff. Time is something of itself. Like again, you just have to balance your time. With Fred Astaire, it really like took away a lot of my time, and that's kind of the reason why I left it, because like I wanted to do so much with it. Like it literally took all of my life where I couldn't even come home to visit family. There were so many gigs I was missing out on, so I was like, the ultimate choice is just to get a better job with better like hours, and so I could invest my time into what I really love doing, you know. But yeah, like benefits is literally you are your own boss. You have so much freedom into it. There's a lot of work. It's not easy.
Right.
And you really have to invest in your own education. You have to keep learning. That is something I struggle with my 8 years of photography, was just reinventing yourself, challenging yourself, like always staying on top of the game. Because I'm aware that there are a million other like really amazing photographers out there. But I guess I just don't have that high expectation for myself. I'm like I like to grow organically and like shift my style where I feel it suits me. Like really grow as an artist, as a creative. It's so important to keep growing. And then lastly, because I'm just going on. I guess one challenge is learning how to price yourself, and that's something as a creative you'll always struggle with. But I'm at a point where, and I actually went to like a seminar on pricing yourself as a creative. when I was in Green Bay. And
Did you increase your prices?
no, but I think it'll help me look at pricing at a different perspective.
Oh, good. Okay.
It was like a women's group, though, a women's creative group, and so she was very much about like charge based on how like your worthiness. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, like I've never saw it like that. So yeah, like
I try to tell her, but she doesn't listen to me.
yeah, I don't see my worthiness the way she sees it, but because I see myself as like I want to be affordable at least, you know. So yeah, there's that. What about you? What are some challenges and benefits?
When I first started making my sun catchers, I can't remember at the beginning anymore because it feels like so long ago. But it was only like 2 years ago, really, 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't have a baby yet. It was like post like pandemic time. We were still like working at home, and we were talking about being hybrid. Kind of like almost the perfect time for me to be able to like have the time to like work on my sun catchers. I didn't really have any like other outside obligations other than, you know, just helping my mom and like things like that. So like I was really able to dabble into it and just play around with it. But then once I got pregnant, the energy just got sucked out of me, and that's kind of my fear now. It's definitely a challenge, but you know, I am going to say openly for the first time publicly that my husband and I, we are trying for our second kid now, and my fear is losing that energy like last time, because you don't see it from like an outside perspective, but making a baby is so draining. That's why we had a conversation earlier. She's like, why do you wish pregnancy on people? I'm like, because it's like the most draining experience I ever had. Like, yes, it's a blessing. Yes, it's beautiful. But I felt like I also lost a lot of time and energy while being pregnant. So I only wish the bad part of pregnancy for them, not the good part. But anyways, if I become pregnant again, I have more of an idea and expectation of what pregnancy feels like, right? So I can prepare myself mentally and physically. Like, okay, if I don't feel like making a sun catcher, don't push myself, because if I push myself, I'm just going to be more tired in that. I'm going to have to put up boundaries at work. Like, if I don't feel like I have the energy to do something or be somewhere, I don't have to push myself to do it, because I need to respect my body and it's what it's doing, and because I want to be healthy and I want the baby to be healthy, I need to take care of myself. That's number one priority. I will just have to reassess at that time, what is my schedule, what does my time look like, do I have childcare, you know, can someone help me with childcare? Like, I'll just have to assess things as it goes, and that's as much preparation I can do, because I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be pregnant soon or not. So I'll just do as much as I can right now, prep as much as I can right now, so that if I do become pregnant, I am still able to make sales. I'm still able to have income and still get things done while not having to work as hard. That's my goal right now.
Cool.
Yeah. The benefits of pursuing my creative passion is, like I said earlier, you know, outside of my 9 to 5, which isn't really a 9 to 5, it's a 12 to 9, and sometimes weekends job. One thing I can say is my boss and I are at a point where she's allowing me to be more creative. Like, she's always kind of allowed me to be creative. She knows that I am working on my sun catcher. She knows that I'm working on Macy with things. So I had a full weekend of vendoring for my positivity catchers, and I talked to my manager and I told her, hey, can I leave at 8 o'clock as long as I have you know, this and this done? And she was fine with it. You know, she's like, you know, as long as you get everything done and you know, you've communicated with me, we know where we're at, then yes, you can. And because of that flexibility, I was able to work on my sun catchers. As soon as I came home, I was able to put my baby to sleep. I was able to eat a quick meal and then work until like midnight to 1 o'clock, working on my sun catchers. Was I tired the next day? Surprisingly, I wasn't. It wasn't that bad because I normally wake up at like 8 or 9 anyways. So I'll get like a normal like a 7 to like 8 hour sleep, and it was actually really nice that week. But now that I don't have that schedule, my husband's been helping me with putting my baby to sleep. So it's like it's challenging, but the benefit of it is that I'm still finding time to be creative. I'm still finding time to be the artisan that I am. I can create things with my hands. I can be, outside of the box, and I can do things that aren't necessarily like, what's the word, like sitting at a desk, And that's what I appreciate about it. And if I wasn't doing sun catchers, I probably would be doing something else because, I'm just a busybody. Like, I need to always be working on something. I always need to be like creating something. That's just who I am. So it's a challenge, but it's also like a benefit, and it's something that's actually helping me with my mental health too. So, I already kind of shared some strategies with like how to maintain a work-life creative balance. It's, once being married, just having a partner is fine because you have someone there to help support you. You still have the time and the freedom to find time for yourself and still find time for your spouse. But now that I have a child, it gets more tricky because now I have to split my time. My 24 hours, I have to split it between my full-time job, my husband, my child, myself, Positivity Catchers, Lumina, and my mom, and my husband's family. So like 8 different things in a 24-hour period. It doesn't all happen because you have to make the sacrifices. I've been listening to a podcast and a few other podcasts that I can't think of their names right now, but one thing they've always said is, if you really, really, really want your business to flourish, you have to make the necessary sacrifices. And you're going to have to communicate with your family, your friends, your partner, and let them know, it's not that you're not important. This is what is a priority for me right now. And I would really appreciate it if you worked with me on creating a balance that worked for the both of us. That's the most important thing, is communicating and then knowing what needs to be sacrificed. And if you're having to sacrifice time with a certain human being, you have to communicate that. You have to let them know that I love you, but I really need to work on this right now. Because my hope is that all this time that I'm using to build my Positivity Catchers, to build our business, that in hopes that it will grow so much that I will eventually have more time to spend with you guys. That I won't have to work so hard, that I won't have to work 2-3 jobs, that's my hope. And so you just gotta make the sacrifices now and build what you can until you're able to finally have that dream life you're working for.
She preached it all, y'all.
So yes, for those who are listening, yes, we really appreciate you.
Maintaining work-life creative balance. First of all, have a calendar. Have a to-do list.
Yes.
That's it's like accountability.
Yes.
It keeps you accountable, keeps you organized. Very Jameer, very classy, very mindful.
Yes.
Yeah, I think for the most part, just really keeping yourself motivated and keeping yourself accountable so that you live the life that you're creating for. And I 100% stand on that. Because I feel like there's I have people in my life who are just thinkers they think about this life they want, they idealize life, but they don't put enough actions.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you have a to-do list, it pushes you to put forth action. Because people will overthink a lot of things and then self-sabotage into not working for the life that they want, you know. And also, I think just having a good support group that will help keep you motivated. And like, I don't know, when we work with the clients, we always, like, I for sure wanted to ask them, what is your why? What is your purpose? Because I feel like that helps ground you.
Absolutely.
So just reminding yourself of your whys. And, you know, it's okay if they, from time to time, it might change, it might evolve, but as long as you begin with a why, with the purpose first.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like with evolving, do you know how many times I've rebranded Positivity Catchers, how much I rebranded my own coaching line? Like, heck, Lumina Consulting Studio is like another rebranding of who I am as a coach.
Yeah.
If I think about it.
Yeah.
So, like, you're always going to be changing. You're always going to be growing and adapting. And that's perfect. That's perfectly fine because you should be, like you said. Right? Anything else you want to add?
I'm trying to think more examples of work-life balance, but I think also to put into work-life balance is also remember to take care of yourself, like you mentioned.
Oh, yes.
Like
absolutely.
your mental health is so important, and I think the older I get, the more comfortable I am with the whole hustle life, and I'm just like workaholic. But I'm like, no, you have to like sit your ass down, calm down, like because like when I made the transition to my new job, I still have that like hustle mentality, and I was like, okay, I'm here to excel, I'm here to succeed. What do you need me to do? Like, but no, like chill, girl, chill. You just got here. You just got here.
Right.
So chill out.
Yeah.
But take care of your mental health. I don't think you can function at your 100 best creative self when you're like deprived, when you're not getting enough sleep and not eating. Because I feel like as a creative, you have to be inspired. So keep inspiring yourself. I think doing things outside of what you're creative, like you know, your main creative thing is could help because I seek my inspiration from films, from life, from nature. So, you know, keeping that healthy creative pattern and like momentum
For
is
sure.
very helpful.
Yes. Yeah, and if you don't, it'll catch up to you.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
be burnt out. I've been burnt out.
I guess highlights and key takeaways from this episode. For me, it's, you know, embracing who you are as a creative at work and outside of work. When we're at work, you know, we have a lot of limitations and expectations out of us, but doesn't mean that we can't still be creative and express ourselves. In the cases where you really can't, then yes, that workplace probably isn't for you. Find a place that accepts who you are as a person and how you work as creative, and that's where you will flourish. And then outside of work, you know, tap into that creativity, find something that really helps give you that boost, you know, whether it's, you know, watching a movie, or taking a walk, or just tinkering with things. Do whatever with your hands to help you get your creative mind going, and eventually you'll find what clicks with you.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know why when you first mentioned highlights, I thought about like that one kid who's probably asking themselves, how do I become a creative? And you just start.
Yes.
And start with the smallest things. Explore. Like, I love that with being creative, you can explore with any medium, any style. Again, we mentioned create like visually, musically, and everything. So like the whole world is yours, and there's so many like potentials and possibilities to be creative. So
Yeah.
explore. And sometimes you don't have to be serious about it. It's just something about for you to express yourself with. I add makeup. You can express with makeup.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So in my at Hawa, we just talked about like drag queen, drag culture, and that's how it's an expressive.
Oh, that's
form for them.
creative. Yeah.
So yeah, like work with makeup, work with paint, do anything. So.
Yes, make a dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. You know, whatever you desire, just don't think too hard on it. Just grab the materials and make something.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're podcasting with your best friend and making
Yeah.
tongue catchers.
Go be inspired.
If you are creative, feel free to share your items or products with us. We would love to see them. If you want to be creative and you don't know how to, please reach out to us. We've been creative since we were like this tiny. So like, reach out to us.
Since I was a little zygote.
Yes. So yeah, like we're here to help you guys. We've been through it. We've done it all. We're still doing it. So we're here to help. Like we know how it is. And you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah. We have a little community for you.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Hope you guys found a lot of good wisdom. And I got a lot of key takeaways about creativity. And so if you haven't yet, follow us, share this episode, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, and see you guys next month. Bye-bye.
Bye.